Okay, so this is what I'm working with so far. I haven't tucked in all the loose ends of yarn yet. I still have to do that. But the sweater is complete except for the haunted house design. I decided to have it already complete because the design is what this video is about, and there are enough tutorials out there on how to make a crochet sweater that if you really want to know, you can just look up one. Because crochet is essentially a grid, with each stitch being a square, I am going to use some grid paper and the reference photo of the haunted house design, and I am going to turn it into a grid design so that I have basically the amount of squares, aka stitches, I need for each row of the different pieces of that design, because the way that I am going to do this is that I am going to crochet pieces of the design, and then once they are done, I am going to layer them the way they need to be layered and sew it onto the front of the sweater with something in between the front and the back so that I don't accidentally sew them together. I have tried in the past to have a intricate design and simply go row by row switching out colors, and when I did that it didn't work because the yarns were different sizes and it completely warped the shape and did not work. I also thought of perhaps using a technique which is essentially crochet embroidery, but the tutorials that I looked up for that made it look probably more complicated than it actually is. But I did end up deciding I'm just going to make the pieces and then sew them on with regular sewing thread, just to make it easier on myself. Most of the yarn is thrifted, except for this blue yarn. It's showing up as a light blue on camera, but actually, if I show you up close, okay, even when I show you up close, it's still showing up as light blue for some reason. It is not, though. It is not a light blue. It's more of like a bluish green. But anyway, the shape, because this blue yarn is a little bit stiffer, ended up kind of looking like one of those tops from the 80s with dolman sleeves shape-wise, which is not what I intended for, but I don't mind it, so happy accident. So I'm going to show you once I've drawn my grid design for the haunted house, and then I'll show you once I've created all the different pieces, and then I'll show you once they are sewed on. Okay, so this is the grid design for the haunted house. Now, where it's shaded in is actually going to be the yarn that is a lighter color. It is going to be a very light violet purple, not like the dark purples on the sweater that you already saw. The windows are going to be yellow, and the roof is going to be black. Now, all these lines here that make up the details of the door and the little arch. There's also supposed to be some steps, but I forgot to sketch those in. I think I might use some black embroidery thread and just embroider that on, including the spikes at the top of the house. Now, the spikes on the utmost tallest part of the roof, I didn't have enough room for on the paper, but use your imagination. And then for the gate, because it's supposed to build some perspective and look like the gate is closer and the house is more far away, I think I will actually use some yarn and make some pieces to then attach for that. So that'll be interesting. Surrounding the house and gate, I want to have some pumpkins on the ground, a bat flying in the sky, and a crescent moon. I'm not having any ghosts because I have another Halloween sweater that I did that I made ghosts for, so that is old news to me. Okay, as you can see, these are the pieces of the house and also the roof and the windows, just like the design. Now, all the little tails on all of the pieces have not been tucked in yet. They will be tucked in when they are attached, so don't worry about that. As I said, the detail with the front door has to be added later after it's attached. These are the pumpkins. Luckily, I did have 2 shades of orange to make it look a little bit more varied. And I think I might embroider some jack-o'-lantern faces, or maybe just on one of them. I'm not sure about that yet. That is my little crescent moon. With the bat, you can't see it very well because it's not showing up super detailed on camera. Okay, that's better. So I followed 2 different crochet bat tutorials, and in both of them it ended up uneven and also too big for the design that I'm doing. So I'm going to take it apart, and what I'm going to do is try to make one without a tutorial and just make it up as I go, because I kind of did that with the moon, that I started watching a tutorial and then I just started to do my own thing because their instructions were not presented in a very efficient way. So I think I'm going to try to do that with the bat. So the last clip in this video should be me showing you the final design after I attach all of this and do like the details of the door and stuff. So if I do manage to make a bat that I'm happy with, you will see that then. Okay, so the sweater is done. I'm literally finishing this and uploading this video on October 31st. So I made it just in time. I did do a little face on one of the pumpkins. So the smaller details on the house were done in embroidery thread, and otherwise everything was sewn on with sewing thread. As you can see, the spikes are not on top of it, and the gate is not there because I only have so much embroidery thread and I couldn't make the gate through crocheted posts, because I did try that, and they were too thick and it didn't look right, and I couldn't get the bat looking how I wanted. So this is just what I'm working with for now. I can add more details later, but I am happy with what I was able to get done in the amount of time that I had. The bluish green yarn is actually looking more the right color now, which is really nice. I think having the roof of the house there is sort of balancing out how the colors appear on camera. I don't know how any of that technical stuff works, but anyway, this is it, and I hope that you guys liked watching this project, and I will see you next time.